Hello. Sorry, I was muted. Starting off well. So we're going to get started in a few minutes. Just hang tight until then, but we are on the line. So if you guys have anything you want to talk about until then, please don't hesitate to send us a message. Full control of the presentation now. Jenny, if you want to go ahead and get started.
Thank you. Got it. Okay. So, my name is Jenny. I'm the Civic Engagement Manager at the United Way of Genesee County, which is here in Flint, and I'm also the Chief Service Officer at the City of Flint. I oversee what's called the Flint National Service Accelerator, which is an initiative to connect all of our AmeriCorps members that serve in Greater Flint. We have about 200 AmeriCorps members, including AmeriCorps State, National, Vista, and NCCC, and we have another about 260 Senior Corps. So we take really seriously our commitment to service, about creating a culture of service, and that's not just for members during their service term, whether it's a summer term, a part or half-time term, or a year-long term like most of yours would be. It's really about that lifetime of service and continuing to give back to the community through what may have been learned in AmeriCorps. So we take this from the AmeriCorps Pledge, which you probably have memorized and studied every day, I'm sure. But the line at the bottom that says, of all of these things that we're going to do throughout a year of service, we're going to carry this commitment with us this year and beyond. And it's really that and beyond that we're looking at. So I am going to talk about some of the resources that are out there to help you with this beyond, with this next step that you have, whatever it may be, and then how you can continue to engage in the alumni network, because there are now over 1 million AmeriCorps alums in our country. It's been since 1994, and we've had over 1 million people serving, and you're part of that, and that's an amazing network that you should feel empowered to tap into. So if some of you are really familiar with AmeriCorps alums and those resources, I apologize for telling you things that you already know, but in my experience, I've just found that a lot of our members don't know what's out there for them and don't take full advantage of those resources. So we're going to go into that a little more deeply today. So AmeriCorps Alums is actually a 501c3 organization. For many, many years, it was part of the Points of Light network, for those of you who may be familiar with that. And just this year, I don't know, maybe three months ago, it moved to be under the umbrella of the Service Year Alliance. The Service Year Alliance is a national organization that itself was a part of a merger of a couple organizations a couple years ago. But Service Year Alliance is really about enhancing the member experience, advocating for service, connecting with alums, building really a regional structure and a national structure to make sure that service continues to thrive and grow. And the goal, the long-term goal, is to have 1 million service year positions annually. So really looking at this trifecta of benefits for AmeriCorps members, we know it benefits the members, it benefits the organizations that you serve, and it benefits your community. That's so vital and so important that it really needs to be expanded. So all that to say, Service Year Alliance is a really great home for AmeriCorps alums. So right now you can access AmeriCorps alums resources both by the AmeriCorpsAlumns.org link, which is where they've been for a lot of years, and to be honest, the resources on there aren't always updated because now a lot of things have moved to serviceyear.org/alums, and I anticipate that eventually that first link will be shut down. Right now there's a lot of going back and forth between the sites and they link to each other, so check them both out. But also to say, because Service Year Alliance is now this host organization for AmeriCorps alums, and Service Year Alliance is a growing, thriving, dynamic organization, I'm anticipating a lot of really positive changes to the AmeriCorps alums organization, and that I'm going to share with you some cool stuff, but I think there's going to be even more cool stuff looming in the future, so look for that. So AmeriCorps alums, there's listed here these 5 reasons to join. So just real quick, joining just basically means like you're putting in your name and email address. It's not extensive. There's no cost involved. There's no commitment for you to, you know, do a certain number of things a week or a month or to show up for anything. It's really just they want your information. They want to know that you're a member, and they want you to be a part of the network. So rest assured, I do not work for AmeriCorps alums. I am not getting, you know, any benefit by promoting this to you. I just think that there are a lot of great reasons that you might want to join. A lot of the resources can be accessed on the websites if you're not a member, but there are some things that are behind like a login wall. So to get full access to all the resources and be able to participate in all the events, you know, give them your name and your email address and whatever else. And then you can access the professional development, the connections, the discounts, all of that you see here. And we're going to go into that a little bit more. What I should also say is that this is not just about after your service. All of the resources and networking and everything on AmeriCorps alums and in the other resources I'm going to share is open to alums, but also currently serving members. So the way that they phrase it is kind of the day you became an AmeriCorps member, you also became an alum. And so there's no reason to wait until after you serve to log in and to check out some of these things. You can take advantage of all of them right now, no matter if you're in your first month of service or if you're in your 11th month of service. All of these are still available to you, and you'll probably get more use out of some of them now than if you wait till later. So really, basically, one of the things that you can get on AmeriCorps alums, if you have an account, is you know, some of these discounts. And the one that seems to attract most people's attention are the free tax returns. And so if you do it through the website, you can get at least your federal, if not other taxes, done for free. That's a partnership that AmeriCorps alums has developed and has passed that benefit on to you. So these are, you know, just a sample of some of the benefits. And I think with the umbrella of Service Year Alliance, there's going to continue to be more benefits. I know there are free SAT prep classes now. There's partnership with higher ed institutions that you can get credit for your AmeriCorps service at certain institutions. So there's a whole page on actually both of those websites that I shared with discounts. So check those out. And there may also be local discounts. So I know here in Flint, we have a couple, not nonprofits, but a couple organizations who have said, yeah, if you're an AmeriCorps member, we'll give you a discount on your food or a Y membership or whatever that is. So check it out. There may be some local discounts that you can take advantage, similar to like military discounts, a national service discount. There's also an AmeriCorps alums job board, and this is a place to really connect AmeriCorps alums with employers who want to hire AmeriCorps alums. There's a whole movement called Employers of National Service, but this job board is open to organizations and companies that aren't necessarily signed on to that initiative, but just the employers of AmeriCorps alums, or sorry, employers of national service themselves have over 5,000 companies signed on. And they're not saying, yeah, we're guaranteeing jobs to AmeriCorps alums, but they're saying we recognize the value that AmeriCorps provides to potential employees and that those skills and benefits learned in AmeriCorps can be useful for our organization. So they have agreed to either prioritize AmeriCorps alums in the hiring process, maybe give them a couple additional points on their you know, resume and interview scoring. Maybe they put it out in their position description or job posting that AmeriCorps alums are encouraged to apply. There's a lot of different ways that organizations can access, I guess, kind of different levels of commitment that all fall under the umbrella of employers of national service. But again, just those alone, there's 5,000. So this is a snapshot that I took yesterday, and there were 1,038 jobs on the job board. So definitely something worth checking out. And for Vistas, you of course get that non-competitive eligibility. So if any of the jobs that you see on the job board are those federal government jobs, then you of course could apply your non-competitive eligibility to these jobs as well. In order to help you then connect with these employers, AmeriCorps Alumns offers a way to put your resume and cover letter online. So you can either, and this is something that you do have to have an account for. And so this is just my AmeriCorps Alumns account, and I don't have any resumes uploaded. But if you did, obviously they would be there, and you could then link these resumes to those jobs that you found that you're interested in. And so you can either take a resume that you have as a Word or a PDF, and you can just upload it here. Or if you use that Build Resume Online button at the bottom, you can actually use kind of a template that AmeriCorps Alumns provides, and you can build your own resume here and then use it to apply for some of those jobs. We'll talk a little bit later about other resources that the site and the network has to help you perfect your resume and your cover letter before uploading. But again, this is one of those things where you're gonna have a resume, you're gonna have a cover letter. There's kind of no reason not to put it on here, so that employers can find you, because they can also search, if an employer is on the site, they can also search for candidates with particular skills that they're looking for, and maybe they'll find you instead of you having to find them. Other resources that are out there, you can sign up for job alerts on the website. So if you put in your parameters about where you're looking to serve and a job is posted that meets your parameters, you can sign up to get an email letting you know that a new job has been posted that you may be interested in. You can also save those postings to your account. So if there's one that you're really interested in, but you're not quite ready to apply at this point, or you need to come back to it, you can save it to your account so you'll find it really easily later, which is another benefit of having that login. And you can do a job search on that page. Again, 1,028 jobs or whatever is too much to go through. So maybe you are narrowing the search by the industry, by a keyword, by location, and then you can save the actual job search so that you can go back and look at that at any point. As of yet, I don't believe that you can search down to the micro level of a city, but you can definitely search for jobs in your state. So it's better than nothing. There's also a lot of resources available on the website for job seekers. And so what they say is that the resource section is everything you need to make your resume stand out, ace the interview, advance your career, navigate the digital world. So there's whole sections related to each of those that you can find one-pagers, tips from experts, all of that to then, again, help you perfect that resume. You clearly can't read that, but the image that I have at the bottom are the top 5 skills that AmeriCorps alums provide employers. And so I just, took a screenshot of that as an example of a resource that you could find useful. So we know a lot of people are considering resumes that aren't as much about chronologically detailing what you did, but more about what are the skills that you have and how can that relate to the company that's looking to hire you. So if you can see, these are employers have identified the top 5 strengths that they think AmeriCorps members bring. And it's, adaptability, collaboration, interpersonal and intercultural communication and collaboration, initiative. And so those are some just phrases that you may consider putting on your resume because clearly they align with what employers are looking for. So there's a lot of those little resources out there that you can find a way to make useful. And I just put the last point on there to let you know that any information, okay, again, I don't work for AmeriCorps alums, but they made a statement about this. We're going to have to take their word for it, that any information you put out there is protected and secure, and they're not selling your information to any employers or to anyone else. So you should feel pretty good about putting your application materials out there. There is a job fair coming up through AmeriCorps Alumns. It's a virtual career fair. A couple times a year, they will actually have in-person career fairs, but most of them tend to be more in like the DC area or some of the other metropolitan areas. So we actually have had some members that have traveled to these in-person career fairs, but most of the time I think it makes sense for us to look at these virtual career fairs. So there's one coming up June 21st. So, why not? From 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. If you have not yet done a virtual career fair, they are a little bit different and you'll want to be prepared for them. How does it work? Not seeing people face to face. And so there are resources on the site about how to prepare for a virtual career fair, how it's going to be structured, how you can make the best use of your time, how you can best present yourself to employers using this kind of chat format. So if you do nothing else today, maybe you consider joining or registering for this career fair and seeing what happens. Not all of you are looking to go to a job next, which is just fine. So AmeriCorps Alumns also has resources related to grad school. I, just to be honest, don't know too much about this, but they have an online grad school where you can, do a degree online through this 2U opportunity. And you see in bold, AmeriCorps alums receive a $5,000 tuition benefit. And the programs are in social work and counseling, business and government, healthcare and education. And those are the programs that we're seeing most AmeriCorps alums are interested in. So if you're not sure about grad school or you want to check it out, the 2U opportunity may be useful for you. There are also virtual grad fairs, so similar to the virtual career fairs. You can connect to universities that are looking to recruit AmeriCorps alums to their grad programs. A lot of the schools actually do match the Siegel Education Award, whether they're the ones participating in grad fairs or others. So I included the link down below, and there's quite a few links in this PowerPoint, so I'll make sure that this gets sent out to you in case you are interested in any of these really specific resources. You can just click on the link. But there's a whole list on the nationalservice.gov website that details what higher ed institutions match the Ed Award. And that doesn't mean, again, that you're going to be accepted, but should you be, then now your 5,800 education award is doubled, and that's looking a lot better. You can also ask your grad school if they'd consider matching the Ed Award. We recently had an AmeriCorps alum who went to grad school, and their program wasn't listed on there, but on the list of matching institutions, but the member just talked to the admissions office and financial aid, explained what AmeriCorps was, asked them if they would be willing to match it, and the university said yes. So don't limit yourself just to the matching institutions, but you might as well ask if an organization or university would match the Ed Award, and all they can say is no. If they don't match it, they may provide an additional scholarship or an additional amount. And that is true not just for grad school as well. So in case there are people who still need to finish their undergrad, some of the undergrad institutions will match that Ed Award as well. Another resource that's available on the AmeriCorps alums site through the nonprofit is training webinars. And so I just listed 6 on there. I just went through real quick and selected 6. There are so many webinars out there. So on your own time, you can check out these webinars, and you can be as happy about doing a webinar as this guy is. I wanted to include his picture because nobody looks that happy when they're watching a webinar. But whatever webinar he is watching, I think we should all watch because he's really loving it. But there are webinars on, everything from how to manage your student loan to how to use your education award to, how do you write a cover letter, how do you apply to grad school, all of those. There are really, I just can't emphasize enough. I put a small snapshot up here. There are so many webinars that you can, just do on your own time, figure out what's out there, figure out what other alums have tried, what's worked, and how they've really leveraged their AmeriCorps service. Along similar lines, there's a blog that AmeriCorps alums keep. First of all, there's just a generic blog that details the story of some AmeriCorps alums and different tips and tricks. You could always check out that blog and maybe connect with some of the alums on there and learn from their stories. But they also have this Real Talk blog, which stands for Race, Equity, and AmeriCorps Alum as Leaders. That's what the REAL stands for. Kind of a stretch as an acronym, but you get it. And the thing that's interesting about this is it addresses some of the hard questions that you may get in an interview, or you just may experience as you're transitioning from AmeriCorps to your next step, and things that we're all thinking about right now. So, you know, there was a webinar on AmeriCorps and its impact on my cultural competence. There's all sorts of, you know, a few resources on race and equality. Equity, can't read. So, you know, you can do what you want with this information, but I think these are questions that we sometimes struggle with. They sometimes trip us up in interviews. So reviewing some of these resources and articulating your own statements around cultural competency or race and equity, and hearing what some other people have said may be useful as you prepare for your next step. These are extremely important issues, not only to land the job, but to be successful in whatever our next step is. So it would be, I think, worth your time to review some of these that other AmeriCorps alums have put out there and have felt were worthwhile to share with you. So those are all of the AmeriCorps alum online resources on their website, one of those, either one of those two websites that I shared with you at the beginning. There are also local chapters of AmeriCorps alums. And I do anticipate that the structure of those may be changing as well, now under the umbrella of Service Year Alliance. Service Year Alliance has also been trying to do some regional organizing, so there may be a shift in how you define a chapter. But at least in Michigan, there's a strong, you know, Grand Rapids, West Michigan alumni network. That's that West Michigan AmeriCorps Collaborative, which again is open to currently serving members. So for those of you in the area, hopefully you're already connected to this group and you can continue to be connected as alums. Lansing kind of has an alumni network. It kind of depends on people's schedules. I think it's a little bit down right now, but you know, these networks are really people committing their time to doing things. So if you're interested in reviving something like one of these groups, then that's what we're going to encourage you to do. Flint we have an alumni network. I will say it's not listed on the website, mainly because, just to overshare a little bit, the burden of putting your chapter online is something that I'm just not interested in. There's all sorts of really rigorous standards that you have to follow in order to be considered an official AmeriCorps alums chapter, and they don't really align with what we're trying to do here in Flint with this culture of service. So we have a group, but we're not listed online. So I tell you that to say your area may have a group too that isn't listed online. So feel around locally and see if there are groups of AmeriCorps alums that are getting together. Metro Detroit does have one. And you can always use this Facebook for Michigan's AmeriCorps alums. It's just, you know, obviously a virtual network. You can ask on there if there are any alums in your area, if there's a chapter going on. All the chapters are different. Some of them will do more fun stuff. Some of them will do more professional development stuff. Some of them will do more of days of service stuff. But there are these in-person opportunities for you to connect with your chapter. And if there isn't a chapter near you, then you are certainly empowered to start your own. So grab a buddy, call yourself an AmeriCorps alums chapter, and run with it. So AmeriCorps alums is on all of this social media. They have a Facebook account. So the one that I talked about on the last screen was specific to Michigan. This one is for all AmeriCorps alums nationally. They also use Twitter and Instagram. And I put this photo up there because I was on the AmeriCorps alums Instagram account and saw that they had posted something from our Flint members. So those are two of our members who were serving now a few years ago, but they made the National AmeriCorps alums Instagram account. So I could not be prouder. All right, so moving on, LinkedIn, I'm sure most of you are familiar with. There's an AmeriCorps Alumns page. I want to be clear that this is not tied to the national nonprofit. This is not AmeriCorps Alumns, the 501c3. It is a network. So there's an AmeriCorps Alumns page. I think you have to be invited to it, but if you have AmeriCorps Alumns AmeriCorps in your service listed on your LinkedIn profile, then you're going to be, accepted into the group. So now's maybe a good time in your year to look at your LinkedIn profile, make sure that it is updated, that it's relevant, and that it allows you to get into some of these groups that you may want to be involved in. The page offers a lot of opportunities for networking, asking questions of other alums, finding what careers they're in, seeing if you can have informational interviews with them, that sort of networking. And then people will post jobs on that page that they know about, and also resources that alums may find helpful. So I listed on here just 3 links that I found on the LinkedIn page for AmeriCorps alums. Making my life after AmeriCorps connections on LinkedIn. It's pretty great. 10 ways to optimize your profile, 21 LinkedIn groups every AmeriCorps member should belong to. Like, someone already went out and told you, once you update your profile, join these groups, and it's going to help you. Like, you might as well do that. So these are, again, some pretty easy next steps that you can take now. Don't wait till after your service, but take some time now to make sure you're setting yourself up for success in the future. Idealist is the same way. It's more organic. It's not produced by the AmeriCorps Alumns organization, but it is AmeriCorps alums as individuals who have said, this is information that I think needs to be shared with other members or alums. And so they've taken the time to put that out there. There are a lot of resources that you can find on Idealist. I know a lot of people think of it as a job board, but it really is a lot more than that. There's so many career-related resources on Idealist. So if you go into Idealist, you can just search for AmeriCorps or AmeriCorps alums or something related to the field that you want to go into, and all these resources will populate. So just, again, some of the ones that I found in, not very long of searching. Lessons that I've learned about job hunting after an AmeriCorps member, job tactics that have surprising results, 5 actions you can take to boost your career in your community. There's so many resources out there that are either specific to AmeriCorps and AmeriCorps alums or are really, really relevant. A few other ways that you can be a really stellar alum is to find an employer of national service. I'm missing a 0 in that number, but there are over 5,000 employers of national service across the country. So whether you want to stay in Michigan or you're looking for a job in another state, you would be well served by starting with this group of employers and talking to them about your experience and seeing where that gets you. If your employer or future employer is not listed, the link there is to see all of the companies and organizations that are a part of employers of national service. If your organization is not on that list, then talk to them about becoming an employer of national service. Again, the threshold is pretty minimum. It takes, I've signed up a couple organizations here. It takes very little time to fill out a form. Say that you're willing to add a question to your application, or you're willing to put a checkbox or something. And so as we're looking to build out this network and make national service and AmeriCorps more well-known, and therefore, beneficial for all of us as alums, the more people know about it and know what it means, then, you can sign on some more companies or more organizations and really help the overall cause. Said earlier, you can start an AmeriCorps Alumns chapter, or if there is one, you can be involved in it and you can take on a leadership role and you can really, bring new ideas and new passion and new energy. AmeriCorps Alumns chapters are all volunteer, and so you know how it is, and sometimes people get a little burned out or life happens, and so they're always looking for infusion of new energy, new ideas, people to plan things, people to send out emails and do all of that networking. So if that's something that's of interest to you, because you see how it's going to benefit you, then jump right in. You can mentor a current member. We have a program here where current members can get a mentor in the community who is in the field that they want to go into. And so we take the time to connect them. We call them AmeriMentors, and then they can do more of a one-on-one mentoring relationship. So why not continue to support current members, and lift others up behind you once you are out in the world doing amazing things in your career. You can advocate to support national service after your service term. You cannot do this during your service term. I would never encourage you to do this during your service term. But once you are part of the alumni network, as a graduated AmeriCorps member, again, realize the importance of what AmeriCorps has been for you and help others to have that same experience. And we're only going to be able to do that if AmeriCorps is still around. And so through Service Year Alliance, through Voices for National Service, there's lots of opportunities to continue to advocate and be a champion for national service. And that's necessary every single year as the budget gets zeroed out for AmeriCorps every year, and it's always a battle. So if you think that AmeriCorps has been valuable to you, don't forget after your service term to let people know about that and to advocate for the continuation of the program. And finally, you can just talk about your service. Tell your friends, tell your family, talk to your employer, talk to your coworkers. We all know that not enough people know about AmeriCorps, which is a really instrumental and life-changing program for individuals and for communities. And one of the reasons that I think people don't know about it enough is because we're not telling our stories, right? There's a lot of things that we do where we, instead of putting AmeriCorps on our resume or telling people we did that, we said that we were an intern or a volunteer, or, we created our own title for ourselves because we thought that that would help people understand what we did better. But we're really selling ourselves short if we don't talk about our service, saying what national service is, saying what AmeriCorps is, talking about the benefit of what it gave to us. And you can do that casually, or there are other opportunities. There's always the AmeriCorps Alumns blog. I know they're always looking for people to write blogs. You could do that, so you could be officially published. There's also Road Trip Nation, which Service Year Alliance is working with to collect and share those stories of alums. So if that's something you're interested in, the information's all out there on the Service Year Alliance page. But there are so many opportunities to talk about your service and to really leverage your experience to help the entire service community. So I realize that was a whole lot of information, both related to AmeriCorps Alumns as the 501c3 nonprofit and all of the resources that they provide online through their now 2 websites. There's also all of the social media links from Facebook and Twitter to LinkedIn and to Instagram. There are in-person chapters. There are employers of national service. There are virtual career fairs and grad fairs. So again, I don't work for AmeriCorps Alums. I'm not the expert in this, but the easiest thing you can do would be to log on, create an account, get behind that wall, and figure out what resources are out there for you so that you can carry this commitment with you this year and beyond. And I think it's always a fantastic opportunity to throw in a Moana quote. So I will leave you with that.
Thank you so much, Jenny. Does anyone have any questions or anything that they want to talk to Jenny about in the next couple minutes regarding the AmeriCorps Alums page and what's available? Nope. Okay, well, I'll make sure that you guys all get the webinar so you can have the links to check out some of the specific pages that Jenny talked about. And I encourage you all to go check out AmeriCorps Alumns. This is my 2nd year, and I just learned a lot, so I'm going to go explore it after this webinar too, and hopefully find some really good resources for you guys and for next year's visits. So thank you so much, Jenny.
Yep. Hi, Jenny. It's Maggie.
Hi, Maggie.
Hey. I didn't know that the blog was always looking for blog posts, So now my lovely Vista members will be reaching out to you to see if anyone wants to submit a blog to the National AmeriCorps Alumns blog.
That's great. It would be really awesome to get some Michigan blogs up there.
Yeah. And Jenny, just so you know, Trish Sanders is still part of our program because she's a superstar, and she just
yay!
Too.
Hi, Trish.
Okay. But that's it so far in terms of comments that we've gotten from people.
Good. I'm glad it captured everybody's attention.
Yeah. I think people seemed pretty interested in what you were saying.
Our audience attention view has been pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good for the last 40 minutes. So whenever it's like above 95 for 40 minutes, I think that you've done an excellent job. So thank you so much.
Great. Thanks everyone for your service, and you are welcome to get in touch with me at any time. Maggie can connect you, and I'm happy to talk more offline if that makes more sense. So thank you, and we can be in touch.
Thanks, Jenny. Bye.
Bye.
So Vista members, we're going to continue with just a quick housekeeping section, and then we're all done for today. So let's knock this out.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I think that, well, Mary's not here, but I'm pretty sure her people have gotten theirs in too. But thank you to everyone who has turned in their monthly reports and timesheets. I'm pretty sure we have them all. I know you had an extra week to kind of do it with our webinar being pushed back, but we're going to ignore that and just be really congratulatory and thankful that all of that paperwork is taken care of. In regards to more paperwork, you have a future plans form in your My AmeriCorps portal if you started in August. I'm not sure if it's up for September people yet, but please fill that out whenever you get a chance, like ASAP, preferably. It's very helpful for us to have it done as soon as possible.
Well, actually, what really is, the Corporation for National and Community Service needs to know what your plans are so that way they can prepare your exit paperwork from their system and get ready to pay out your cash stipend or your education award, or and to fill out like your other exit paperwork, also including your relocation allowance if you relocated to serve. So I have a list of people who are on my I don't know how else to say this, my poop list right now, so that I can yell at you about completing your future plans forms. I'll be following up with you separately, but if you're not sure if it's you, it probably is. Dun, dun, dun.
You can go into your portal and check out if you've gotten it done, too. It'll say that if it's complete or under review or whatever the status is.
So specifically, this is David, Rick, Schwartzen, Chelsea, Allison, and Demona right now as August, and Sabrina as August people who are offboarding and on this webinar.
Perfect. Also, you should all be using your vacation and sick time. CNCF doesn't really like it when you use your vacation and sick time in the last month of service, so you're really discouraged from doing that, so please make sure that you're using your vacation time. We can have it roll over if you're staying on for a second year, or a fifth year or fourth year, or whatever.
Yeah.
We can do that, but we need to know ahead of time. So please either let us know that you plan on having time roll over or use that time up. And make sure you're communicating with us about it too, because we will have forums and emails and things going out about end of year celebration and other kind of wrap up stuff that we need from you and that we need to know that you are attending to. So if you're out of the office and not responding to our emails, it's really helpful to know kind of a timeline of when we can expect you back and where you're at. So a little bit of a mention already, end of year celebration is coming up, so please just keep an eye out for information regarding that. We are going to have an RSVP. It is not mandatory that you come, but
It is super fun.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't want to spend a day of work with me, but I guess whatever. That's your own prerogative. I won't make you feel bad about it. I'll just be really confused. But don't RSVP if you're not actually going to come, because we do have to calculate costs and all of that, and order food, get hotels. So really, please be mindful if you do RSVP and looking out for that information that you have, I just got really distracted, I'm sorry. It was Maggie's fault. Please don't RSVP if you don't plan on coming. And if you're not sure if you can come or what's going on with your schedule, just be in communication with us about it so we can kind of plan accordingly. We're not going to get mad if you don't come or if you're not sure and want to make an informed and intentional decision about what you're doing with your time. So, nope. Trish asked if there's a date yet. We don't have one yet. We will let you know. We are kind of working with someone else. We're working with a third party to figure out dates yet. So, and last but not least, we are still recruiting. We are filling our 30 positions for this year. We have some people who have already accepted positions, but we are filling positions for probably still 24, 25 of them. I put the link on this form in case you want to check out your positions. Maybe you want to stay for another year but don't want to stay with your current site. That's totally fine. You can follow the link and look at what sites we still have available. And if you have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, and feel free to share that, that link with anyone who you think would be a good fit for either your organization or who you think would benefit from AmeriCorps just in general, and pass our information along. You can give out mine and Mary's contact information to anyone you think would be interested. Anything else, Maggie?
No, thanks for serving, and I hope that you're beginning to enjoy summer in Michigan when it's happening.
Yeah. Maybe not this morning. Not a lame thing, but yeah, so we're gonna probably stay on for a couple more minutes if anyone has any questions about anything we've talked about, but feel free to head out and get on with your service day a little bit early. And yeah, please don't be strangers. We're really busy with recruiting, so we might be a little less communicative, but we are always here to support you guys. So make sure you're using us as a resource if you need us, please. Okay, bye.